Hi booktube, I'm Debs. Welcome back to my channel, Raina Reads Stuff. I am here in the bookshelf. Guess what I've just done? I've just recorded this video with the microphone turned off. So, this is take 2, which is probably just as well because take 1 was a bit rambly to be fair. It's Saturday. It's the day before New Year's Eve. We are running out of 2023, so I thought I'd have a quick chat about my plans for 2024. Now, in 2023, to date, I have read 320 books, and that's ridiculous. So, one of my plans for 2024 is to calm down a bit. Um, I found booktube in June of this year. Didn't know it existed before that. And I joined booktube and started posting in July. And very, very quickly, I got completely carried away with all the wonderful events that go on. So I took part in Historathon, which I love and I'm going to do again this year. And then there were events like Garb August and Shorty September and Victober and World War November and Remember December and Read What You Own and October and so many more, and I loved them all. But I sort of threw myself into them with such enthusiasm that I left myself very little time for anything else. And so this year, I think I might just chill a bit. I might just chill because even if you read one book for an event, you have taken part in that event. There is no need to tick off the whole checklist or fill in the whole bingo card or not read anything else other than that event's books. So I've averaged 20 to 30 books a month. I will probably still average 20 books a month. So what I've done is I've come up with a list of 10 different things that I want to read every month. And that leaves me the rest of the month, the rest of the books that I read that month for either mood reading or event stuff. Or what I'm going to try and do is what I used to tell people at work. Do it smarter, don't do it harder. So I'm going to try and double up where possible and make sure books tick several boxes. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, the 10 different categories that I have chosen for next year, for each month. I'd like to read more classics. I have all these up here, a lot of which were gifted to me, and I've got more in the house as well. I need to read some more of them. So, one classic every month. I am taking part in Historathon 2024, brainchild of Vin at Revenant Reads, so a history book a month. I am also going to take part, because I love the idea of it, in 24 for 24, which has been set up by MJ at Reading This Life and is about reading banned books. Now, some of those banned books are classics. So there's an example of where I can double up. So it's 2 banned books a month if I'm going to fit 24 in. I'd like to read a poetry book each month. I like poetry, don't understand all of it. And actually some of it I don't like, but I like a lot of poetry and I'd like to just explore it a bit more. Plays, Shaptember was another event I took part in. I read 3 Shakespeare plays. I have actually read a bit more this year. Oscar Wilde and George Bernard Shaw in October, and a Chekhov play. But I'd like to read a play a month. They don't take very long, um, so that would be great. And I'd like to do a deep dive on one of my favourite authors, P.G. Wodehouse. I have a lot of P.G. Wodehouse books. My husband bought me 8 or 10 for my birthday, really old ones that are lovely. Haven't looked at them. Um, and my birthday was in October. In fact, P.G. Wodehouse and I share a birthday. I'd also like to read a book or a genre that I've never read before, one every month. Either or. Could be both. If I haven't read the genre, I probably haven't read the author. And then I've got a couple of projects. One is a long-term project that I started earlier this year, and it's a Read Around the World project. I'd like to read as much literature and non-fiction from countries all around the world as possible. I have certain areas that I tend to go back to time and time again. Scandinavia, for example. I love Scandi noir. Japanese literature I like very much. So this year I have read a few Australian authors that I'd never come across before. They were brilliant. But I have all these maps up here, and the idea is that I read as much as possible. So, a children's books, some classic literature, folklore, some modern literature from as many countries as possible. This is obviously going to take me the rest of my life. But it does tie in with another thing that I want to do this year, and this is another personal project. Nottingham, where I live, is a UNESCO City of Literature. It's one of 53. Um, and I want to explore why it's a city of literature. So I have this great book, Exploring Nottinghamshire Writers, that I got from a lovely independent bookshop in the city centre called Five Leaves. This lists authors and their connection with Nottingham. Some of them are a bit tenuous. So, J.R.R. Tolkien came and stayed just outside on the outskirts of Nottingham with his Aunt Jane, um, and wrote there. J.M. Barrie and Graham Greene both worked for a very short period of time for a Nottingham newspaper. Byron lived locally. D.H. Lawrence lived locally. Coming more up to date, John Harvey, the crime writer and poet, has divided his time between London and Nottingham since 1965. Alan Stillito is a Nottingham author. John McGregor is a Nottingham author. So there's some really obscure ones as well. I've got some quite strange books that I bought earlier this year um, to tie in with this project. And once I've finished, or if I run out of Nottingham books to read, I'll have a look at some of the other cities of literature because they are vast and varied, including, got a list here, Vilnius. I mean, I'm not reading the whole list because there's 53 of them. Tartu, Seattle, Reykjavik, Quebec, Prague, Ljubljana, Heidelberg, Iowa, Durban, Edinburgh, Baghdad, Barcelona, Beirut. There's so many. And I'd like to know why. I'd like to know why these cities have been selected as cities of literature. So that's another personal project that I'll be starting in January, and that's just going to be ongoing as well. Now, I haven't finished the Read What You Own challenge, so I shall be continuing with that. I am currently up to 43 books, as of yesterday. I moved away through a couple. Um, but yeah, 43 books. So it's not going to finish anytime soon. But um, I've got enough to start ticking off things on this list already. I went through I went through the list of banned books yesterday and wrote down some of the ones I own. Yeah, there's 3 pages worth of banned books on my shelves so far. Um, Historathon I'm going to be continuing with this year. I loved it last year, absolutely loved it. And so I'm starting off this year with a buddy read, reading SPQR with John David and also Stephanie Cohen. We have just finished reading Post War by Tony Judt for Q4 of this year's Historathon. And I also buddy read The Rape of Nanking with John David earlier this year. Um, the whole experience of buddy reading was just a complete revelation. It's lovely. It's lovely to read and chat to somebody about these books. So I've never been a member of a book club, so I've never had that experience before, and it was really good fun. The Kindle Kobo cleanup in January, I'm also planning to do now. Because the Read What You Own challenge, I pledged to read 100 physical books because the idea is to make some space in here. The Kindle challenge isn't actually going to count as part of my Read What You Own challenge. Although, one of the prompts is to read the oldest book on your Kindle, and the oldest book on my Kindle just happens to be War and Peace, which I am going to buddy read in July, group read in July, with several people, but it's been organised by Mark at Book Time with Elvis, Al at Big Hard Books and Classics, and Aaron at Aaron Facer. Other buddy reads I'm planning this year, for Historathon again, Q1, Alex at Alex Unabridged and I are going to read a book by Professor Alice Roberts. I have 3. For the life of me, I can't remember which one we're going to read. I think it might be Ancestors. But that should be fun as well. And then later in Historathon, um, I'm hoping to read The Restless Republic with Gareth at Songs and Other Magic. So there's lots going on. I'm going to be a non-fiction judge for the booktube prize next year, which I am greatly looking forward to because I think it'll. I read a lot of history. I read a lot of travel writing. I read a bit of politics. That's about it for my non-fiction. So it'd be nice if there were other things as well, so I can expand my horizons a bit. What else do I have to tell you? I suppose. Oh, the other read. There's a group read in January. That's been set up by Chrissy at Dostoevsky in space, and there's a. It's a group read for one of Haruki Murakami books. I love Haruki Murakami, but I haven't read IQ 87. So I've got to get that read before January the 27th when there's a live chat about it. Oh, sorry, I've got a really tickly throat. Um, Outside booktube, I plan to do some more writing. I write a lot, but I've sort of spent all the redundancy money I got, so I have a need to try and earn some money. That's sad, isn't it? So I need to develop my writing more. I need to put in more submissions to people. Um, if you don't know, I have been a journalist for the best part of 40 years, but I want to write fiction. So I had a poem published in an anthology this year I was very pleased about. But I genuinely need to put more effort in. I spend an awful lot of time prevaricating. That's got to stop. Also, I make lots of stuff, and I was selling it at craft fairs, and then I really don't like the selling things to people, but I think I might do that again. Um, it must run in the blood. My 84-year-old mother still runs a market stall of selling craft stuff that she makes. Um, Wind, rain, snow. Once a week, there's my octogenarian mother setting up her market stall in her gazebo. But generally, I think the idea this year is to not prevaricate so much, do some more videos. I've been a bit lax. I'd like to do, I'll continue with my Sunday wrap up videos, but I'd like to add a couple of more in each week, one or two, maybe, not overload you. Um, yeah, read better rather than read more because I read enough last year. Um, be more selective. Calm down on the book events. Really, just calm yourself, woman. Um, there's no need to go at them full full throttle. Hopefully, we can have some good chats. This is the sort of channel where it's never going to be graphic heavy. It's never going to be all singing, all dancing. I am a jack of all trades, master of none. I read anything. Romance. Um, and hopefully it's a sort of bring a coffee or a beer or a gin or whatever you want, and we'll have a chat. Thank you so much for your support this year. The last video I did was last Sunday, which was 6 days ago, and I was saying I was so close to 200 subscribers. And when I looked today, it's at 207. I don't know how that happened. I am very grateful. And leave a chat, say hi. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow with the shortest weekly wrap up in the history of the world because I haven't read very much. But it's Sunday, so I feel I ought to do it. So please like and subscribe if you would like to. Thank you very much for watching. Please come again. And a very happy new year to all of you if you don't drop by again beforehand. I will speak to those who do tomorrow. And that's it. Goodbye for now.